Hey guys, it's Tanisha from Mommy and Me back with another video. So as promised, this is going to be the unboxing video for the grade 2 parent kit. Again, lots of material to cover, so I'm just going to jump straight in and get started, okay? So the parent kit also comes with some teaching charts and games that is incorporated into the curriculum. There are two types of parent kits. There is the essential parent kit and the complete parent kit. So I got the complete parent kit, I believe grade 1, or was it kindergarten? But some of the materials kind of overlap between 1st to 3rd grade, which is why I did not get the complete parent kit again, because it is a bit more pricey. So I just got the essential this year because looking over the material that we've had for K5 and grade 1, we already have the other items that's in the complete kit. So just keep that in mind when you guys are ordering, to make sure that you're not getting the same materials that you already have, because then you'll just have duplicate materials. And some of these things are kind of costly. Even though they're good quality, they are kind of costly. So just try to keep that in mind. You can save yourself a few bucks. So here we have the history, science, and health 2 teaching charts. Whatever's in the essential kit are things that are absolutely necessary. So we have the world map here. So clearly some part of the curriculum for that particular subject will be using that. There's landforms, there's the map, nervous system, all that good stuff. But I did get the larger versions of these whatever you want to call it, teaching charts, because I wanted to be able to blow them up pretty big. And they're nice, but they're kind of small. So for teaching purposes, I did get the bigger ones, and those are ones that I can use for future grades as well. Then we have the Arithmetic 2 charts and games. So this is just things that are incorporated into the arithmetic curriculum that could be used. Some of them you don't have to use. It's just kind of supplemental activities. Here's one on fractions. There's liquid measures, the temperature. So it really just depends on if you want to use it or not. But it comes included within the essential kit. Then we have our Phonics and Language 2 test key. Like I said, you will have a test key for all of the test banks. So here we have one of the tests. You'll see exactly what to write, exactly what to say, and also like the words to say with it. And it'll tell you, like, here it'll say indicate role read by student, mark any words missed, allow 6 seconds for each word. Like, their lesson plans and their books for the parents, they tell you what to do. Like, literally you just have to follow what they say, and that's it. They make it so easy, so easy. So this is a test book for phonics and language. Here we have for arithmetic. So same thing. So like here where it's like the answers to the combination your teacher says, it'll tell you what the combinations are underneath, and that's what you will read to your child. Oh, I didn't even realize. So some of the speed drills actually get into this. This is intense to do. Oh, under 2 minutes. Okay. So here you have that, just the answer key pretty much. Then you have the history and science health activity book. So that was showing exactly just an answer key of what the child should be doing when you're checking that book, or you're checking the pages that they did. All right, now comes the fun part. So this is the answer key for reading. So like I was telling you guys, for example, let's see. Okay, so in this book, this is for the book Across the Meadow, and it'll go, as you change books, they'll have one of these. So it'll tell you words to practice, what page that's on, things to ask. So here we'll tell you, review the special sounds, have child read words to practice. Let's see. Ask, what do the first 5 special sounds have in common? Here is the answer that they should give in bold, you know. They have here the things to ask again, what you're saying here to ask again. When they get into reading the story, they'll tell you page 3. This is a character team, persistence. Have child read words to watch for. Reading the story, introduce the story. These are things that you say in bold. Have the child read, point out to the author. I mean, they literally tell you exactly what to say. They have the vocabulary enrichment. So if there's any vocabulary words, they have the definition for it and all of that. Here we go to the next book, Wonders of Imagination, and it does pretty much the same thing. So there's no, oh my gosh, I can't do this, it's too much, I can't get it right, because they tell you exactly what to say. Here's the arithmetic, same thing, just an answer key with everything that you pretty much need to mark those papers correctly for that child. And if there is a section where you may have to, let me see if I could find one. Sometimes there's sections where you might have to call out a particular combination, just like the math book. I can't find one. But just like the math book, it'll do the same thing. You'll have the exact combination underneath, and it will have you just read the combination, and then the child would write the answer. Like here, write the number your teacher says. So you will say the number, and the child will write it in. All right, this is the Homeschool lesson plan book for history, science, and health. So it goes the same way. I think Abeka has 170 lessons, but the beauty of Homeschool, you can go as fast or slow as you like, and you do not have to do everything. So here they give you like a potential schedule. Again, you don't have to follow that, but this is just for the history, science, and health. So Mondays, kind of like going through lesson 1 through 5. It says show and tell, library, or classic story. Thursdays would be music days. Fridays would be art days. So like Mondays, you kind of, the way they have it is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, you go through one of the actual subjects. So here, from lesson 6 to 65 will be history. 66 to 130 will be science, and then 131 to 165, that will be health. 166 to 170, you're just pretty much reviewing. You do not have to follow this schedule, but they always give you like a projected one in case you're kind of lost of, oh my gosh, what should I do? Then you have the scope and sequence, and this is also set up for the math and phonics language the same way. So here I'll show you the different topics that you're doing. There's the geography topics, the history topics, any type of hands-on activities, and all of that in creative writing. And up here, it'll show you the page numbers and the lessons. So if you want to do anything extra, like here with the globe, if you want to get a globe and show your child how to use that, things like that, you have a whole layout of exactly what you will be going over. This is just teaching notes, and it is in the beginning of each of their lesson plan books. So I'll tell you the Christian perspective of it, because it is a Bible-based book. The teaching materials, the time allotments, which this is all, I really like, I never get to actually follow these time allotments because our homeschooling is all staggered. Like, I am a full-time nurse. I'm also in school. I have a lot of other responsibilities. So sometimes we homeschool in the day, homeschool in the night, homeschool whenever we can. So we don't really have a set time sometimes. I am trying to be better about that this year, just to give her some better structure. So here we start with there's no subject here. So it's just kind of like the beginning times. They're just, what's the word? I can't think of the word right now, but they're kind of just easing them in to second grade. Then we have music, art, because remember Thursdays are music days. and Fridays are art days. There is like a music book and CD that you can get from Abeka. I think we did it like once, but we just do our own thing. And so like here for history, they'll have the objectives, what you're really trying to make sure that child learns. Here you have the materials, the visuals that you would use. So that's from the charts that we saw earlier. And then what part of the student book that the child would need to go through. And again, here is telling you exactly what to do, exactly what to say in bold. So you do not have to guess what to say, how to say it. They always give you like different hands-on activities you can do that is completely up to you. And they give you other ideas just to kind of make the lesson more creative, make it come alive. If it's something you want to keep serious, and you don't have to do all the extra activities because it is more time consuming. But if that day you do have some more time, you know, you can always look there for some extra activities that you can do with your child. So I'm gonna skip through history and go on to, I think they said 65, science. There we go. So here we have, again, they're telling you exactly what to do, different procedures, what you need to do, read and discuss the different activities. So here it's talking about potentially doing this activity called lungs in a bottle, which actually looks pretty cool. So things like that. They give you a lot of options. And the art portion that they have for Friday, that's where that art book comes in. So again, don't have to get the art book, but it helps because here it just says art project 2, page 85. So instead of me figuring out what we need to do, I can just pull it. And they normally try to gauge the art projects from their art book towards whatever was done that week. And then if we move along, let me see if I can find the health section. This is still sad. Okay, here we go. Health. So same thing. Comprehension, think and write. These are just some of the stuff that's in the book itself. So here you have the things from the book. You have the answers here, because remember the book also had questions, not just the workbook. And they give you the objectives, the materials, different things for you to do. So that's how this book lays out. Here are the reading comprehension skill sheets, and I'm assuming this is pretty much just the answers. Here it also gives you some vocabulary enrichment, so just things that you can read to them. And again, it gives you full directions of exactly what to say. Like even here it says, have your child read each statement and have him turn back to first paragraph of selection and read aloud. Have him identify which statement on page 4 happens first in the sequence. I mean, like I said, they make it so easy. You really don't have to do much. Just read. Like once you can read, you're good to go. Let's see. So this is language arts, and at the front it'll show you all the books that this covers in this lesson plan. So the phonics and language, the reading comprehension, spelling, writing tablet, writing with phonics, and all our reading books. This is the entire language arts. So if you were just to get the language art curriculum, this is what it would look like and include. So here is lesson 1. They normally go by teams, so it looks like the first team is going to be the pont team. It'll tell you exactly what to say. So here, like even when you're saying the sound, it'll say 8 sounds. So unvoiced, puff of air, M sound, lips closed, you know, N sound, teeth should be showing. So you know, So you can't even get the sounds wrong if you were kind of, you know, worried about that. I know a lot of parents are kind of like, well, am I even equipped enough to teach my child? You are, and this curriculum makes it very, very easy for you to be if you're not feeling that confident. Because I know that was one of my problems. Like, I believe I'm a smart person, but to say teach my child and take that entire thing over, like her entire education, I was kind of worried that I wouldn't be enough. But this really eased all my fears. So it's just showing you, like when you start the reading, it'll tell you the different words. And this is just like, you can write these down to go over with your child. It'll tell you what part of the book you're reading. Here is fun with friends. It'll tell you exactly what else you need. The reading to answer key. Have child read the words. So this is the word they will be reading. I normally just write it on a whiteboard. Have child read Fun with Friends. Here is the answer key. Reread as time allows. And you do have morning reading and night reading. So your child's getting a lot of reading in. Here's for the spelling and poetry. Again, you have those objectives and materials. This is just enrichment ideas. So just extra hands-on activities that they can do, which spelling list you're going over. The poetry. So they have poems for that poem you will be writing or using for that month, learning for that month. I'm gonna find a different one for handwriting because that's the handwriting test. So let's go to this 23. Okay, here's one for handwriting. It'll tell you again everything that you need. There's a formation guide and all of that as well. And then when it's time for review, here you have the language review. So we'll tell you exactly what you need to use to go ahead and review with that child at the end of the day. Let's see. And that's pretty much how it pans out. So it covers every single book within the lesson. So each lesson you are going to be covering. You have your warm-up. You're going to have your phonics and language book here. Your reading morning and night. Your spelling and poetry. And your handwriting. And then you have seat work, which is pretty much just back here in the appendix. There is always a whole bunch of work. This is seat work. So this is work that your child will be doing independently. And they started this in first grade. So you have the arithmetic page 5, phonics and language page 6, the writing tablet. They want you to have the child write their first and last name 10 times. Draw a picture of yourself and family member that upon, read a book. And this will be the book of their choice. So that would be their seat work, what they're doing seated. And that's just for them to start gaining that focus, learning how to actually sit down, get work done. As you go through each lesson, they'll have more and more activities for them to sit down and do. And there's always a parent's choice. Depending, like sometimes I just wouldn't do a parent's choice because I feel like it's already a good bit of work for her to do. I don't want to overload her, but you have that option. And this is found in the appendix to the back of the book. You will see within the lessons there are different things they should adjust, and that will be in the game section. So games and activities, you have, like Simon Says, it would say, okay, well, we're gonna do play Simon Says with child, and it will be under an activity. This is what they're talking about. There's also a lot of other games here. So you have animal toss, beat the teacher, beat the clock, just different ways for them to kind of reinforce information. You have the phonics word list back here. This is all of the different words that you can use for the special sounds that you are teaching, in case you need extra examples. And it does go by chart. So you'll see chart 12, chart 13. And then here is the appendix for writing. So you always want to make sure you're leaving positive comments with just words of improvement. And it shows the handwriting test. That was one of the biggest challenges for me, trying to grade the handwriting test. But this was pretty much showing what an A would look like, what a B would look like, what a D would look like, you know. And they have for all the different letters. Here we have spelling. So the answer keys for spelling, there's not a spelling book for that. This is the answer keys here. You have some sample sentences for each list. So you can read that to the child when you're reviewing. And then the answer key, where is it? Yeah, so here you have the answer key for the actual book. So you know in the book there are those activities. This is the answer key back here to the back. And then this is just planning resources. So you have pretty much everything set up here of what you're going to be teaching your child, the scope and sequence. So here's phonics, here's language, and this is just in case you want to add some supplemental activity. You have the writing, exactly what they'll be focusing on there. You also have the creative writing topics on this side. So Mondays would always be journaling. Tuesdays would always be the penmanship test. Wednesdays, you have the different topics. Thursdays, Fridays, same thing. And then you have a reading here of all the different books and when they're going to be started. So I can see here we're going to be using handbook for reading pretty much into lesson 83. Fun with Friends by lesson 35. We're kind of stopping off on that and then moving into Quest for Adventure. So you can see kind of like the pace of everything you will be doing. Now you pick which pace is best for you. Here, this is the advanced pacing. This is like if you're moving pretty quickly. This is the reduced pacing if you need to slow down. Okay. So like, for example, Fun with Friends by lesson 20 in the advanced pacing, you will be done. So in 20 lessons, you'll be done with Fun with Friends. Compared to in 35 lessons, well, up to lesson 35 because you're starting at lesson 6. So it's just kind of like slowing it down if you need that slower pace for your child, which is perfectly fine. And then here as well, these are just adjusted reading pacing options. Again, you have your advanced pacing, you have your reduced pacing. And I love the fact that they give those options. You have your planning calendar back here and you have one in each of the books. And then you have your progress reports. This progress reports is just for the phonics language, reading, spelling, writing. The math would have the progress reports behind that. And then I believe it would just be the math that has the progress reports behind that one. Because this covers the reading, oral reading, spelling, writing, phonics, and language. And then Bible, if you're doing Bible. Whew, this was a big one. All right, next we have our arithmetic. So pretty much the same layout. Trying to find one where okay, so here we have lesson 14, and it'll tell you you always have a legend of what the different symbols are in case you forget. But you have your objectives, what to write on that board paper or your whiteboard, the different materials that will be used. So in this case, you have the speed drills, you have the which page in the book that they will be doing, and same concept. So they tell you what to do, they tell you exactly what to ask, and then they give you the answer for that. Here, they even tell you, look how detailed these instructions are. For the speed drill, hand speed drill to child, having him place picture side up, have him turn paper over, point out speed drill for lesson 14. They give you direct step-by-step instructions for everything. So you have all of these. This is what I'm talking about as far as the oral part went for the grading, for the test. So here, section 1, read the directions, say each combination 2 times. And this is pretty much where they'll sit here, and that portion of the test is where you will say that so they can write the correct combination, the correct sum in the box. So that's pretty much how math's laid out. Like I said, sometimes with the board paper, it's just really extra activity that they want is how you're going to teach the problem. So here we have, so you see A here, this would match up to this part of A. And it says have child fill in blanks on board or paper for before and after numbers. So that's what they'll be doing with this section. So it's the same thing back there. And let's see what else. All right, so there's always extra information back here in the appendix. You have the addition and subtraction families, some of the poems and songs. So there's like left frog, right frog to teach left from right, 5 little frogs to teaching us how to subtract. Then here are some of the games that you can use that they'll reference within the lesson plan. And again at the end, so you do have that planning calendar, and then you have the progress report here. So they do Bible in here too. This is only if you're not using the language curriculum. If you are, you don't have to repeat it here. But as you can see with math, you have a grade for the writing and a grade for the oral. And you have that all the way. I want to believe they do 6 grading periods. All right, guys, last book. I know this video is ridiculously long. So this is just the phonics and language, and this is pretty much just the answer key. That's all. So that book that they get with all the different phonics and language activities. This is pretty much just the answer key, so you will be able to mark their paper. That's it. So I know, again, this was a long video, a lot of information, but I wanted to show you guys pretty much everything I had on that grade 2 parent kit. Again, remember there is the essential kit and the complete kit. This is just the essential kit, so if you want to see how a complete kit looks, feel free to go on Abeka. They have like very detailed pictures and a list of the items that's within the kit. But other than that, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you guys later.